I don't remember things that I've done. Who said this?
But you stole his vote.
Who said this? When I was little, I collected human ears. Is it Gamora? When I was little, I collected human ears. The Losers? When I was little, I collected human ears. I can't.
When I was little, I collected human ears.
I think I had more fun bonding with the cast and with Puerto Rico. So it was a wonderful experience. And it was a fun movie. It was, it's young and it's fresh and it was just action driven. It was fun. And the director, he was really talented and he was really great. Okay, here we go. I've always hated that chair. Oh my God, like, I'm getting old. I don't remember things that I've done. This was Avengers? Oh my God, yes, she's talking about her dad. Yeah, I've always hated that chair.
I always hated that chair.
I wish I can go back and reshoot what Gamora was going through in the Avengers movies. I don't think I was quite understanding what the Russo brothers were excellent filmmakers, and the opportunity that they gave me was of a lifetime. To highlight Gamora in such a way in their films is something that I will forever be grateful. I wish I can go back and redo it so that I can push a little harder, because it was such a great opportunity to play sort of like a daughter having issues with a dad, and whether or not she's having this opportunity to reconciliate or to heal or to repair or simply just walk away from this person. That would have been a great opportunity had I, been a little more aware of it back then. Okay. I'm impressed. For a moment there, I thought you were just some dumb hick who only has sex with farm animals. Dumb hick? When have I ever called somebody a dumb hick? Star Trek. Oh my God. Was I calling Captain Kirk that? That makes sense. I was calling Chris Pine that. I mean, Captain Kirk.
I'm impressed. For a moment there, I thought you were just a dumb hick who only has sex with farm animals.
Years before, I did a film called The Terminal, and I played like an immigration officer at an airport who was a Trekkie. I did my research then, years before booking Star Trek, and I was amazed by the passion that, Trekkors have for Star Trek. I learned a lot from it. So when I booked Star Trek with J.J. Abrams, I basically just took off from where I had left. Talk about covering all my bases. Your chair's pressure wired. You move a single inch and that'll be the last move you ever make. Colombiana.
Talk about covering all my bases. Your chair's pressure wired. You move a single inch and that'll be the last move you ever make.
Throughout the time that I'm training and prepping and shooting a project, it's like a free education. I love to educate myself. I love learning. I'm such a curious person. With Colombiana, there was a lot of training, a lot of fight training, a lot of gun training. And it was a very specific form of fighting. And I trained in France with an exquisite stunt coordinator there. I feel like I shot myself in the foot by only highlighting the genre of action. I want to do it all. I'm an avid reader. Like when I'm not working or making art or with my family, I'm reading a lot and I read all kinds of genres. I would love to be able to direct something that I'm deeply passionate about. I am not some starry-eyed waif here to succumb to your pelvic sorcery. That's Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy.
And I am not some starry-eyed waif here to succumb to your pelvic sorcery.
James Gunn offered me the part. I think he had seen my work in previous projects like Avatar, and he really felt like, okay, I think that I know who I want for the role of Gamora. I wish I could go back in time and just try so many more things for her. She was a really fun character to play, but also like a really deep character, because I know it's a Marvel movie and we don't like to use words like deep and Marvel in the same sentence, but I like to, and I take great pride in knowing that I was a part of great films that cater to a younger audience, that inspires a younger audience. What he was doing was something really special, because he was really stepping outside of the traditional molds of what superheroes were supposed to be, and we were supposed to be these rejects that came with childhood traumas and disabilities and mental issues, and he gave these characters space to be loved, to learn about self-love, to love each other, to find a family within their friendship. It was actually a really important film, now that I look back at it. Oh, you stole my boat. Oh my God. One of my children saw Pirates, and I wish I can show you that video where he's just like, it's like 3 years ago. He's like, but you stole his boat. He just didn't understand what was the kind of dynamic, like why was Ana Maria so hostile?
You stole my boat.
Actually.
The one thing I do remember is meeting exquisite human beings and feeling always taken care of by absolute professional gentlemen. Because I was really young when I did that movie, and just having fun shooting on location with the cast. It was a lot of fun. Oh, you cannot ask this. The children, everything they've ever known, the forest, this is our home. Neytiri in the way of water.
You cannot ask this. The children, everything they've ever known, the forest. This is our home.
There was just something really powerful about her journey in the second installment where I just unconsciously channeled just so many women, immigrants, leaving something behind and starting new in a new world with your family, and not having the resources or the connection to your spirituality or to your place or to your home or to your people, and how you still have to find it in you every day to wake up and raise a family with values and with your culture. And so for some reason that just kept always bleeding into like my psyche as I was putting Neytiri together for this second installment. It was quite painful. I remember for Sam and I, we were just anticipating the fate that as Neytiri and Jake, like that their son was gonna have, and we were just sick. We were physically sick, just like, because we knew that that shoot day was going to come, and we just didn't want it to come because, we were having our children and they were very small, and channeling something so unimaginable, so horrific. It's just unbelievable, But we did it with Jim by our side, and it was quite powerful. You might do well to remember that the pawn and the king end up in the same box at the end of the game. What's this? You might do well to remember that the pawn and the king end up in the same box at the ending. Is this an animation? It's still like Avengers or Marvel or no Star Trek. Star Trek? Is this Live by Night? Oh my God!
You might do well to remember is that the pawn and the king end up in the same box at the end of the game.
I think I remember him more as a director. I think he's incredibly talented and a true director because he's a really talented writer. Being directed by him just felt safe and exciting. I mean, my part was so small. I just remember that much of kind of going, wow, he's a really talented director. There's one thing that I learned from watching him, and I'm paying it forward for myself, to surround yourself with people that are better than you. The cinematographer was like award-winning, the set designer and the costumers and everybody around. They were just people that were prolific. I remembered that. I'm like, oh yeah, like you want to be the smartest person in the room, surround yourself with smarter people. And what, you think you're going to become like this big fat pregnant star? Oh my God, Crossroads. Oh geez, Louise, I remember that.
And what? You think you're gonna become like this big fat pregnant star?
It was so fun, but it was also like the first time that I was like around like a big pop star. She was just so sought after, and yet she was so down to earth and kind and approachable. And I loved that the whole sort of like immediate production was all women. Producers, the filmmaker, cast and director, the cast, being around like an all-woman kind of world gave me just like a nice little kick. I was like, oh, I want to be like this all the time. Sequels are so popular that we've been living the last 20 years in the world of sequels. And usually you thought that sequels were only for action movies or superhero movies, and now sequels can live in all kinds of genres. Why not? But I feel like it would only work if Britney comes back and plays her character again, and Taryn Manning does as well, and Anson Mount, and that we write realistic sort of scenarios for them. That would be beautiful. Ah, you have a strong heart, no fear, but stupid, ignorant like a child. Yes, that's Neytiri from Avatar.
But stupid.
ignorant like a child.
It's completely ahead of its time. It's almost prophetic. The things that he highlighted when he did Terminator 40 years ago are things that we are experiencing now. Just that cloud of doubt that we have around AI are just themes that James Cameron was tampering with completely ahead of his time. And Avatar is no different. He's able to gather all of his passions and weave a story that ends up being really compelling. And that's what makes James Cameron films just so special. They're unlike anything you've seen before. So they end up really being an experience rather than just a film that you watch. It's a story that stays with you for a very long time and sometimes even compels you to do things from it, you know? And Rita in Emilia Pérez.
He desires to remain anonymous. If you're not willing to accept, I don't think it's worth talking.
Expect to feel. Go to the theater and allow your heart to be your brain. Everything about this film from beginning to end will be completely unexpected, non-traditional, and yet so familiar and beautiful and heartfelt and deep and joyous and important. It was a very special project and I'm very proud to have been a part of it. So proud.